Hi, I'm Max.
Hi, and I'm Denise.
And welcome back to another edition of Urban Lifestyles. As you can see, we're middle of town cycling, so we're going to be talking about bikes today. And also, Denise, what are you talking about?
I had a great interview with MSD coming up, and it really depends. Well, it covers our safety in our community.
Right. And we've got an interview with the Mod Squad, and you're going to definitely want to stick around and find out more about that. Cheers back with what's happening with 101.3, and Tyler's on board with my swaggy wag and some derby highlights. We'll take a quick break and back with more.
Working hard to make your life a little easier, because we know you've got your hands full. Our new mobile app gives you the power to check your account balance, review your payment history, and effortlessly pay your bill from anywhere, while making it easier than ever to report and track power outages. Download the app today to get the convenience of LG&E and KU at your fingertips.
Denise, tell us what's going on with MSD.
Yeah, MSD in our community, have you ever thought about how we are protected against flooding? Mm-hmm. And because that has to do with MSD and their engineering and so forth, there's a station called Patty's Run that's been around for ages, maybe since the 40s or 50s, but they're building a new structure, so let's just take a look. Today is another informative segment because I'm here doing MSD. Of course, they provide the safe, clean waterways for our community. I'm here with the Executive Director, Mr. Tony Parrott. And Mr. Parrott, welcome once again.
Thank you, Denise, for having us on Urban Lifestyles. Today was a very special day for us here in Louisville. We had the opportunity to host the Assistant Secretary of the Army, and he was in town primarily to look at some of the projects that we are doing with the Louisville Protection System, such as our Patty's Run construction project that is going on behind us, and to learn a little bit more about the collaboration and the partnership that we have with the local Army Corps of Engineers. Very vital because he is going to be in the decision change for MSD to be considered for federal funding. To be able to help us with our Louisville flood protection project. And so there is a federal request that we have put in for approximately $275 million funding, ultimate for construction for replacing the rest of our flood protection system. So to get him in town today and get a chance to showcase our construction and showcase our facilities was very important.
So that is so impressive and interesting. I know right now we're standing at what's called the old flood protection Patty's Run pump station, and that's been built from the 50s, I believe. And let's talk about this new station and what it's going to be doing.
Yeah, this new station is really going to be state of the art. Obviously, it's replacing 1930s and 40s technology with new innovative technology in pumping and electrical components. And it's also going to be twice the size of our current Patty's Run flood pump station. So this project being built behind us is building flood protection for the city of Louisville for the next 100 years. And we're just so excited to be under construction. And we know that there's so much more work and so much more support that we need. We are also working with the Army Corps of Engineers on a potential, what we call a P3 opportunity, which is a public-private partnership funding tool that will help us maybe be eligible for additional funds in the future. So we're trying to not only use alternative construction methods, but we're also looking at alternative financing methods so we can push forward with these priority projects, which are so or old assets that are so vulnerable in our city.
So for a lot of people to understand, let's say the viewers, why it's so vital, because does this mean that this is going to double the capacity? And when you said serve Louisville, is that all of Louisville, or is that certain sections? How does that work?
Well, we're responsible for 26 miles of flood wall and levee along the Ohio River. We have 16 major flood pump stations like Patty's Run, but Patty's Run itself serves a large portion of West Louisville and Shively. So it's very important that we get this project underway.
Okay, so I know this is exciting and how it's going to benefit our community. So what is the projected time as to when this will be done?
Well, this is a very complex project, and of course, we have to do not only work on the building a new flood pump station, but we have to kind of build and reinforce the existing levee while we're going through that. So right now it is scheduled that this project will be completed in December of 2026. So we're still in the beginning stages, but it's just nice to get it kick-started and ready to go.
Okay, and one last question for inquiring minds. This is so vital because it means for our community, let's say when we have a lot of rains, I think from like October to maybe through the spring, what does this mean for us when we have all these rains? Because for people to really understand why this is vital.
Well, usually from October through the end of April or May, we call it flood season. So it's our rainy season, and so there's so many problems that we have when we get large rain events. And so when the Ohio River rises, we have to be able to protect the city from the Ohio River. And so whenever the Ohio River gets to flood stage, different stages of that, we put into service Patty's Run, we put into service our western flood pump station, all the way around, just to make sure that we are keeping the Ohio River out from inundating our city. It would be a catastrophic event, and any of these flood pump stations would fail, it would be catastrophic for our city.
So to talk a little bit about why this flood system is so important to our community, I want to introduce you to Mr. Dane Anderson. And Dane, welcome back again to Urban Lifestyle.
Thank you, Denise. Appreciate it.
So I've learned so much about the importance of the new pumping station and to replace Patty's Run, which has been around so long ago. But basically, I know that we had some rains about a month or so ago. Touch a little bit about when this pumping station comes in and what it does and how it really benefits our community, then we don't even know.
Right, so this pump station usually comes in once a year, and a lot of people may not realize as Thunder of Louisville was going over, we were actually flood pumping here. So during the month of April, we pumped about 770 million gallons of water out of the city. So the key understanding is with the levee system and flood pump stations, as the Ohio River water comes up, we have to shut the Ohio River off so it doesn't inundate the city, okay? So once we shut that off, then all the interior water, the creeks and streams and rainwater and stormwater, has to be pumped back over the levee and back into the Ohio River. Those are key components that a lot of people don't realize.
Okay, so that means our city and our community in Louisville, we're doing pretty good when I see sometimes on the news about other communities that have the flood situations, and it sounds like we're really on good operation here through MSD.
Yes, we are, but we're working with very old equipment. So like if you think about the station that's being built here versus what we have presently, the present station built in 1953. So our president at that time was Eisenhower. Now we're going to build a new station, which we desperately need, because we have serious concerns about operation issues here with how old it is. I mean, it's outdated, and it's, time to build a new one, and that's what we're doing to protect this end of the community.
Well, I thank you all in your department for your efforts, and this is why this is so important, and not only with MSD, but they do provide for our community. That's why it's safe, there are clean waterways for us to benefit in the community. And Dane, thanks so much for what you all do, and I can't wait till I come to another tour to see all the new bells and whistles, I'll say, in the new facility coming up.
Absolutely, greatly appreciated.
It's great to see the engineering aspects that's going on with that project.
Yeah, it is. And just to think a lot of this is just going on in our area that keeps us safe.
All right, we'll take another break and back with more.
It's time to crack an egg.
Easy, any style egg works here.
Or smile.
Well done, this looks great.
Time to share a story.
I have a great way to start our discussion.
With old friends or new ones.
When you're a caregiver.
Time to breathe in.
And count up. Good job.
Then let it all out. It's never been easier to connect, learn, and have fun.
Cheers.
So let's do it together. Come find us at aarp.org/.
Well, I don't know if you've been following social media, but you may have seen the Silver Foxes. And there's also a group that's right here in Louisville that's called the Mod Squad. It's a very unique group of guys. So take a look at this piece. Well, those of you who don't know, you should know. There's a group in town. It's called the Mod Squad, and I'm here with Kim Vaughn and Mark Gunn himself, who, of course, is legendary here in this community. And I'm going to let them tell you a little bit about Mod Squad and how it got started. Kim, I'm going to start with you because I think this is your brainchild.
I did an all-male fashion show one night, and it just went over huge. I mean, it was just an overwhelming positive, and I really thought that this shouldn't be the only one. And so in remembering the fashion fair, the Ebony Fashion Fair, and when Miss Johnson died, it left a huge hole. So currently, we are the only nationwide all-male troupe at our fashion shows. To me, it was more than just a pretty face, as they would say. I think that men have an opportunity here to share their stories, share their testimonies of encouragement, still allow women to know that there is chivalry, there are good looks, and to give hope to a lot of businesses and other platforms that need some light. Be it that we hold fashion shows for designing up-and-coming designers. We have an awareness for health and wellness with men, different panels. All things are possible.
And speaking of the name Mod Squad, where did it come from?
Men of distinction. It was a couple of names that were scratched around on the notebook, but when I tell you, literally, God gave me this plan, so I was very obedient.
So, Mark, tell me from your perspective.
Well, the reason that I'm actually with the Mod Squad is because Kim basically threatened to beat me over the head if I didn't join. And for those that know my work throughout the community over the last 20 or so years, I really haven't been a joiner of any sort of group. But when she shared her vision of what she wanted to do with this group, it fell in line with what we're doing at WLOU as far as serving the black community, putting black men in a more positive light. We've got a wide area as far as walks of life, areas of different expertise that we want to share. And to Kim's point, we want to show that we're more than just guys in nice looking suits. We want to reach out to younger men, give them tips on fashion, give them tips on life in whatever profession they want to do. We've got men that handle things like gun violence. We've got folks that are in law enforcement. Of course, my background in media. There's so much experience that we want to share, and we feel like we can do that through fashion.
And when I look behind you and take a look at the group here, there is an array here. So you again talking about age, and I think that looking at other groups that are out like the Silver Foxes, how do you all really work to get your message across outside of the fashion?
Well, the comparisons to the Silver Foxes have already been made, and that's cool. That's fine. Mad respect to those brothers for filling the space, and they are serving a purpose. Our goal is to show that we are more substantive as a group. We're very heavy on social media. If you check out our Facebook page or the things that we post, every guy posts something that has to do with his life or an area that he's an expert in. We'll share fashion tips. We'll share just life tips.
Miss Kim Vaughn, this was her dream. She reached out to me. She know what I did in fashion and working on different little shows and in and out of town. We look for more international look. We're all kind of shapes, sizes, but our mind span stands on this fashion and getting back into the old days of how our grandfathers and our forefathers was of keeping a good look. If you look good, you feel good, everybody else is gonna see it and see it on you.
And so, Mark, kind of closing out, if people want to find out more about the Mod Squad, how can they get that information?
Just follow us on social media. Just look for The Mod Squad. That's TheeMod in caps, squad. You can follow us on each of our individual Facebook pages, social media. We're always posting. Kim will give you information if you want to book us, or if we're needed to talk to kids or talk to young men. That's basically what we're doing. So just reach out on social media.
As you can see, they're a very unique group of guys. They're doing some great things in the community, and my hat goes off to them.
Definitely, and I love the fact that it has to do with matured age men.
We'll take a quick break and back with more.
It's gonna be the morning rock. Get the keys, let's go! Because Because you won't want to get out of the car when the Streets Morning Takeover is on the Ville's #1 for hip-hop.
Early in the morning.
96.5.
The Steve Harvey Morning Show is the best that there is. Period.
Yeah, don't you make me.
Oh, I ain't working around. We are here as usual.
That's too much. This the one.
We right here. You wake up and catch me from 6 to 10 on your #1 station for R&B, Magic 101.3.
Let's check in with Shay at 101.3.
Hey, Max and Denise, it's your girl Shay K, and it's Magic 101.3. I wanted to make sure that I came on really quick just to plug you into things that we have that are coming to the 502 and how magic is, of course, your way through the door. Now, I need you to make sure that you hit our website, which is 1013online.com, because all the magic happens there. Anytime you miss anything on air, you can always find it there. Now, I need you to also tune in because we're giving away tickets live on air. We, of course, allow for birthday shout-outs. I got your love line at 10:30 at night. So basically, here's our phone number. You can text us requests. You can get information, 502-795-1013, and we will make sure that you stay in the loop. Now, as far as events, there's a lot of things coming to the city. We've got Funk Fest that's coming in June. We're giving away tickets to that. Of course, we've got the Sky Soul Fest. We've got Lionel Richie and Earth, Wind & Fire. Basically, we got all the hottest events that are coming to Louisville, Kentucky. So do me this big favor. Again, lock in that website, 1013online.com, because that's where you want to go. But also, tune in to all of us. You got Steve Harvey in the morning. You got my girl Faith Daniels in the midday. You've got Hurlin in the afternoon. And of course, you got me, Shay K, handling you from 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. We do this Sunday through Thursday. I make sure that you know all the good details. And of course, I make sure you know you're rocking with your #1 for throwbacks and R&B. It's Magic 101.3.
So now it's time to check in with Tyler and My Swaggy Wag.
Hello. It's Tyler here with another edition of My Swaggy Wag. And yes, I might look a little bit crazy, but it is with reason. I have finally taken out my wet-in hair, finally. And now I'm left with my hair. So instead of keeping it braided up and in some sort of protective style all summer, which is what I normally do, I today am going to get a Brazilian blowout. It is supposed to create a very low maintenance situation vibe for me so that I can still wear my hair and not be just in braids only. So hopefully on the other side of this video, we will see something very fabulous. I'm gonna take you along with me. Let's go and see what this Brazilian blowout process is all about.
I arrived at my salon and the first thing she did was clean my scalp and detox it because after a sew-in, it was needed. I got my first wash and condition and she separated my hair into 4 big sections. From those sections, she went through and started to put the product on. While she was working, I was working on my laptop. Here's a better look of what she's doing. She's taking section by section, very thin. She's applying the product and then she's smoothing it down. After that, she blew it dry and we saw that my ends needed a trim. Voila. Isn't it amazing what a good trim can do? After that, you have to wet the hair again and rinse out the product after it had just been blown dry. But the next time she blew it dry, it took less than 20 minutes and voila. Brazilian blowout. I was so hype.
Yes, I am back. I have gotten my Brazilian blowout. I hope you all can hear me okay. But I got the Brazilian blowout. The process was a breeze, so worth it. This is supposed to last for 12 weeks. So I will definitely be able to update you all on its status. But the Brazilian blowout is for any hair type, coily, kinky, frizzy, oily, thin, whatever you have. The Brazilian blowout really just coats the hair and helps it maintain its health and shine for up to 12 weeks. Let me know what you think. Follow me on @MySwaggyWag on Instagram. Check out my Like to Know page. Also under My Swaggy Wag, so you can see where I got my outfit deets and everything else But we will see you next time for this edition of My Swaggy Wag.
You know, she continues to bring us some great information and about a lot of different things that you need to know.
Yeah, the highlights of Lifestylez, however it comes. I enjoy learning something every time from her.
We'll take another break and back with more.
It's time to crack an egg.
Easy, any style egg works.
Or smile.
Well done. This is great.
Time to share a story.
We have a great way to start our discussion.
With old friends or new ones.
When you're a caregiver.
Time to breathe in.
And count up. Good job.
Then let it all out. It's never been easier to connect, learn, and have fun.
Cheers.
So let's do it together. Come find us at aarp.org/
Said at the top of the show, we're here at Middle of Town Cycling with some bicycle tips, so take a look. Well, we're back again at Middle of Town Cycling at the corner of Gardner Lane and Bardstown Road, right behind Sullivan's Bakery. And Nira, great to see you. I heard you just killed them at the track.
Maybe.
But you had a great time.
I did have a good time, yes.
And that's what Derby is all about. And speaking of having a good time, people are getting out riding more. I know we're getting ready to put together a ride with you all. You have regular rides, but here's some nice accoutrements that you need as it relates to biking. So tell us what you have today.
These are just few of the many accessories you need when you're riding. The most important in my mind is enough to carry a water bottle when you're out, when it's hot specifically, and then tools to fix something or fix a flat, things like that. And then, of course, if you are the kind of person that, say, rides later in the day when it's dark or early in the morning when it's dark, lights, although lights are good to have regardless of when you're riding. And then just, other simple things like locks or mirrors and things like that.
Okay. So if we're looking at some of the lights, which one, know if you're a starter, you're just doing something on a casual basis, maybe riding, just maybe on the weekend, take me through that.
So there used to be the lights that you have to actually put a battery in them, like a cell battery or just a regular A battery, a AAA battery. Most of the newer lights that come now are rechargeable, and they have bigger, longer battery shelf life, and depending on what mode you are in, like it could be a flashing mode, it could be a strobe light, it could be several different things, and the run time of these lights depend on what mode you're using. There is no such thing as a beginner light, or it just depends on what you're using it for, how often you want to use it, what's your budget, how does it mount on your bike, is it something that's lightweight, not lightweight, is it an e-bike? So we just kind of keep a variety of different options, and then depending on what you like and what you want, we can kind of guide you in that direction.
I've always had a question because I know I see some people riding and they just have on the solid light, some have on the strobe, some have on the flashing. When do you use which light function?
Well, most of the time you want to use like the flashing light because they seem to be the most efficient and lasts for a longer time or longer. It provides more battery life, let's just put it that way. But it just depends. If you're riding late at night, you want it to be in the highest lumen or the highest brightness, as you would say. And so it just depends, really.
And then I'm seeing the locks here, and we're seeing a lot of different variations on the lock. So tell us about those.
So some of the locks I recommend depends on where you're locking the bike. Sometimes people lock their bikes even within their garage or in their basement. Something like this is very, it's not the most secure, but it's enough to stop somebody from just taking your bike and running away. So this I would recommend if it's in your site, if it's something that you're just going to run in and out of an office or a coffee shop, or where you have eyes on your bike, and it's just simple, easy, lightweight to carry. Now, something like this is a lot heavier. It's a U-lock. It goes around the rear wheel and the actual frame and the bike rack that you're putting the bike on. And it's a lot more difficult to break or solder or get into.
So you have to really be committed to trying to steal it.
Yeah, yes. And this is good for when you're going to be away from your bike for a little bit longer and it's not quite in the vision of, line of vision. And then these are just similar to something like this, but not as good as this or not as strong as this, but better than these. And they actually have a gauge. So depending on what gauge it is, that you have a little bit of a higher gauge, a lower gauge. They're all going to be combo locks, so you don't forget your keys. And it just depends. Sometimes people use these on a bike rack when they're transporting the bike. Sure. So in case the bike rack fails, the cable lock can keep your bike together.
Yeah. And I think we have those kind. And one thing that's very important is don't forget your combination.
Yes, do not forget your combination. Although they do make keys for them, but then it's a bit of a pain to get them.
Yes, I agree. So if we move on down here, I see different water bottle carrier holders.
Yes. So most of these are like pretty flexible, can hold pretty much any kind of Camelback, 20 or 24 ounce bottles. They do make some that are expandable. So I know a lot of people carry like Stanleys or stuff like that, or like bigger thermoses that don't fit these traditional bottle cages. And so they have adjustable bottle cages too. So it really depends on what you're carrying and what you want. But.
Well, you know, we haven't missed Derby in I don't know how many years. So we happen to miss the biggest Derby of all, Derby 150.
Yes. But I still am enjoying some of the highlights of what went on, which is always enjoyable to me.
And thanks to you all for sending us some great posts, some great pics. So take a look at this. You know, Derby seems to be, it seems like that experience was just great. Everybody that I've talked to said that they thoroughly enjoyed it from Tuesday through Sunday.
Yeah, and it was just seemed to be much more friendlier, much more knowledgeable, and everybody had skin in the game, per se.
You are correct. And you know what? I think that's our show.
Ooh, and that's our time.
And we'll see you back here next time on Urban Lifestyles. And remember to vote and take the shot.
Bye.
Bye.